I never thought a dusty trail in the heart of Texas could change a man's life so
I
quick.
always have.
But there I was, riding hard under the scorching sun of 1882, when I heard the screams. They cut through the air like a knife through hide, pulling me off my usual path toward the ranch.
Oh my God.
My name's Cole Whitaker, and I'd been alone on that spread for nigh on 8 years since Sarah passed. The fever took her fast, leaving me with nothing but ghosts and cattle. I wasn't looking for trouble, or a woman,
What is
but
this
trouble
place?
found me that day.
It's
The screams
beautiful.
led me to a dry gulch where 3 rough-looking outlaws had a young woman tied to a mesquite tree, her wrists raw from the rope. She was fighting like a wildcat, her dark hair whipping in the wind, eyes fierce as a cornered Mustang. The leader, a scarred brute with a bandana around his neck, was laughing, twirling his revolver like it was a toy. "You think you can run from us, darling? That little secret of yours is going to cost you." I didn't hesitate, pulled my Winchester from the saddle scabbard and fired a warning shot into the dirt at their feet. "Let her go," I barked, my voice steady despite the pounding in my chest. They spun around, guns drawn, but I had the drop on them. One charged and I put a bullet in his leg. The others scattered like rats, mounting up and hightailing it into the scrub. The woman slumped against the tree as I cut her free, her breaths coming in ragged gasps. She looked up at me then, those green eyes piercing right through. "You shouldn't have done that," she whispered, rubbing her wrists. "They're the Harlow gang. They'll come back for me, and now for you." I helped her up, feeling the warmth of her hand in mine, a spark I hadn't felt in years. "Name's Cole Whitaker. My ranch ain't far. You can rest there till you're fit to ride on." She nodded, but there was something guarded in her gaze, like she was weighing whether to trust me or bolt. Her name was Eliza Kane, she said, from a small town up north, but her accent had a hint of city polish, maybe San Francisco or further east. As we rode back side by side on my horse with her spare mount trailing, I couldn't shake the feeling she'd brought a storm with her. Back at the ranch, my old hand, Miguel, was waiting by the corral. He'd been with me since before Sarah died, a loyal soul from across the border who'd saved my hide more than once. "Senor Cole, who's this?" he asked, eyeing Eliza with a mix of curiosity and caution. He was wiping sweat from his brow, his weathered face creased with worry. "Looks like trouble followed you home." "Outlaws had her," I replied, dismounting and helping Eliza down. She winced as her feet hit the ground, and I noticed the bruises on her arms. Miguel shook his head, muttering something in Spanish about foolish gringos, but he fetched water and bandages without another word. As he tended to the horses, Eliza and I sat on the porch, the evening sun dipping low, painting the plains in gold and red. "Why were they after you?" I asked, handing her a tin cup of coffee. She took it, her fingers brushing mine, sending that unwelcome jolt through me again. I pushed it down. Sarah's memory was still too fresh even after all these years.
I always have.
Eliza stared into the cup, her voice low. "I know something they want. A secret that could ruin them, or make a fortune." She glanced up, her eyes searching mine. "But if I tell you,
Oh my
you'll be
God.
in as deep as I am." I leaned back, the rocking chair creaking under me. Part of me wanted to send her packing at dawn, but another part, the lonely part that stared at empty beds and silent dinners, wanted to know more.
It's
"I've faced
beautiful.
worse than outlaws," I said, trying to sound tough. Inside, though, my heart was racing. What was it about her that stirred me up? Her strength, maybe, or the vulnerability she tried to hide. As night fell, Miguel cooked up beans and cornbread, sharing stories of his days riding with vaqueros. He eyed Eliza suspiciously but warmed up when she complimented his cooking. "You remind me of my sister," he said gruffly. "Strong but running from shadows." Eliza smiled faintly, but her eyes darted to the horizon like she expected the Harlows any minute. After supper, I showed her to the guest room, Sarah's old sewing room, dust-covered but clean enough. "Lock the door if it makes you feel safe," I told her. She paused in the doorway, her silhouette soft in the lantern light. "Thank you, Cole. Not many men would risk their neck for a stranger." I nodded and turned away, but as I lay in my bed that night, sleep wouldn't come. Thoughts of her swirled in my mind, her laugh during supper, the way she held herself like she'd seen too much pain. Was it pity drawing me in or something more? I hadn't felt this pull since Sarah, and it scared me. The push and pull inside me was fierce. Protect her or protect myself from getting hurt again. Little did I know, the real storm was just brewing. The next morning dawned hot and merciless, the kind of Texas heat that bakes a man from the inside out. I was up early, checking the fences with Miguel, when we spotted dust on the horizon. Riders, 3 of them, coming fast. "Harlows?" Miguel asked, grabbing his rifle. "Could be," I muttered, my gut twisting. We rode back to the house quick, and I burst through the door to find Eliza already awake, peering out the window.
I knew
"They're
you'd
here,"
understand.
she said, her voice steady but her hands trembling. I handed her my spare pistol. "You know how to use this?" She nodded, her grip firm. "Better than most men think." The riders pulled up outside, and I recognized the scarred leader from the gulch. Jeb Harlow, notorious for rustling and worse. Flanking him were 2 deputies, but not the law kind. These were his brothers, mean as snakes. "Whitaker," Jeb bellowed. "Hand over the woman and we'll let you live."
This place.
Miguel and I stepped onto the porch, rifles ready. "She's under my protection," I shouted back. "Ride on, or there'll be lead flying." Jeb laughed, a cold sound that echoed across the yard. "She stole from us, something that ain't hers to keep. A map leading to gold buried by old Confederate soldiers. Worth more than your pitiful ranch." Eliza appeared behind me, her chin high. "It's not yours either, Jeb. It belonged to my father, and he died protecting it from thieves like you." The revelation hit me like a buckshot. Her father, gold? This wasn't just a damsel in distress. This was a tangle of greed and legacy. My mind raced. Sarah and I had dreamed of striking it rich once, but it always ended in dust. Now, here was Eliza, pulling me into her web. Jeb's eyes narrowed. "Last chance, rancher. We burn you out if we have to." The tension hung thick, my finger itching on the trigger. Miguel whispered, "Senor, we can take them." But I hesitated. Glancing at Eliza, her eyes met mine, pleading yet fierce, stirring that damn emotion again, protectiveness mixed with a spark of desire I couldn't deny. In that moment, I made my choice. "Over my dead body," I growled, and the first shot rang out. Bullets flew as we dove for cover. Miguel nailed one brother in the shoulder, sending him reeling off his horse. I clipped Jeb's hat, forcing him to retreat. The 3rd Harlow brother charged the porch, but Eliza, cool as ice, fired from the doorway, grazing his arm. He yelped and fled, the trio galloping away in a cloud of dust. We stood there, breathing hard, the smell of gunpowder sharp in the air. Miguel clapped me on the back. "Good shooting, senorita," he said to Eliza, a grin breaking through his worry. She handed me back the pistol, our fingers lingering. "I didn't want to drag you into this," she murmured. I looked at her, really looked. The fire in her eyes, the curve of her lips. My heart hammered not just from the fight, but from her nearness. "Too late for that," I said softly. But inside, doubts swirled. Was she worth the risk? Or was this forbidden secret just another ghost to haunt me? As we cleaned up the mess, a rider approached from the east. Not a Harlow, but Sheriff Tom Riley, an old friend from my cattle driving days. He was a burly man with a mustache like a broom, his badge glinting in the sun. "Heard shots," he said, dismounting. "Trouble?" I explained the bare bones, introducing Eliza. Tom's eyes lingered on her a bit too long, and a jealous twinge hit me unexpected. "Harlow gang's been raiding up north," he said. "If she's got something they want, best hand it over to the law." Eliza shook her head. "It's not that simple, Sheriff. The map's tied to my family's past. My father was a Union scout during the war, hid that gold to keep it from rebels. Jeb thinks it's his birthright." Tom scratched his chin. "Sounds like a tall tale. But if it's real, it could bring more outlaws sniffing around. Cole, you sure you want this on your doorstep?" I met his gaze, feeling the weight of his words. Tom had been there when Sarah died, helped me through the dark days. "She's staying till it's safe," I replied firmly. He nodded but warned us. "I'll post a deputy nearby, but watch your back." As he rode off, Miguel pulled me aside. "Senor, that woman's trouble. Beautiful trouble, but still." I couldn't argue. Eliza was stirring feelings I'd buried deep. Longing, protectiveness, a heat that made my blood run hot. But the push-pull was killing me. Draw closer, or push her away before she broke what was left of my heart. That afternoon, as we fortified the ranch, boarding windows, checking ammunition, Eliza and I found a quiet moment by the well. "Why help me?" she asked, drawing water. I paused, the bucket heavy in my hands. "Reminds me of someone I lost. Sarah, she fought hard too." The words slipped out raw and unbidden. Eliza's hand touched my arm, soft and warm. "I'm sorry." she whispered. But Cole, this secret, it's not just gold. There's a curse on it, or so my father said. Men who seek it end up dead or mad. Her words sent a chill down my spine, but her touch ignited something else. I turned to her, our faces close. Because it's all I have left of him. Tears glistened in her eyes, and in that vulnerability, I saw my own pain reflected.
I always have.
I wanted to pull her into my arms, taste those lips, but I held back. The forbidden pull was too strong, too dangerous.
What is that?
As the sun set, we sat together, sharing stories. She spoke of her childhood in California, running from a gambler's stepfather after her real pa died. I told her about Sarah's laugh, how the ranch felt empty without it. Miguel joined us with his guitar, strumming old Mexican ballads that spoke of lost love and redemption. The music wove around us, drawing Eliza and me closer without words. But as night deepened, hoofbeats echoed again. Not the Harlows this time, a lone rider, a woman. It was widow Clara Hayes, my neighbor from the next spread over. She was in her 40s, tough as nails after losing her husband to rustlers, and she'd always had a soft spot for me. Heard the commotion, she said, tying her horse. Brought supplies and my shotgun. Clara eyed Eliza with a raised brow. Who's the city girl? Eliza stood tall. Someone who owes Cole her life. Clara chuckled. Well, if you're staying, earn your keep. These parts ain't kind to damsels. The four of us, Miguel, Clara, Eliza, and me, formed an unlikely alliance that night, planning defenses over coffee. Clara's presence added a spark. She teased me about playing hero, but her eyes held a hint of jealousy when Eliza laughed at my jokes. It stirred the pot, making me question my growing feelings. As we bedded down, Eliza slipped into my room quietly. Cole, she whispered, I can't thank you enough. My heart raced as she approached, the lantern casting shadows on her face. Don't, I said, but my voice was husky. She leaned in, her breath on my cheek, offering not just words but a glimpse of the secret, a folded paper from her pocket. This is part of it, she said, but if I give it all, it changes everything. I took the paper, our hands entwining. The tension was electric, a push towards something forbidden, a pull back from the abyss. What was this map leading to? Gold curse or heartbreak? Sleep evaded me again, the weight of her nearness like a brand. Dawn would bring answers, or more danger. The following days blurred into a tense vigil. The Harlows didn't return immediately, but scouts reported sightings nearby. Sheriff Tom stopped by again, bringing news. Jeb's offering a bounty on Eliza, dead or alive. Claims she's a thief and a witch, cursing their luck. Eliza laughed bitterly. The only curse is greed. My father buried that gold with a warning. For the pure of heart only. Jeb's far from that. Tom pressed her for details, but she clammed up, glancing at me. I felt a surge of protectiveness stepping between them. She's told enough. We'll handle it. After Tom left, Clara pulled me aside while Eliza helped Miguel with chores. That girl's got you twisted up, Cole. I see it in your eyes, the same look you had with Sarah. I sighed, running a hand through my hair. It's different. She's alive in a way I forgot existed. Clara's face softened. Just be careful. Love's a double-edged blade out here. Her words echoed as I watched Eliza from afar, her sleeves rolled up, laughing with Miguel over a stubborn calf. The sight tugged at my heartstrings, a mix of joy and fear. I approached her later by the barn. Show me the rest of the map, I said. She hesitated, then pulled out the full parchment. Yellowed, marked with symbols, and a trail leading to the Guadalupe Mountains. It's not just gold, she confessed. There's a letter from my father hidden with it. Proof he was innocent of treason during the war. Jeb wants it destroyed to cover his own family's sins. The revelation deepened the mystery, and my admiration for her grew. But so did the doubt. Was she using me? The push-pull intensified as she stepped closer. Cole, I didn't expect to feel this connection. Her words hung between us, charged. I cupped her face, thumb tracing her cheek. Neither did I. Our lips met in a tentative kiss, sweet and urgent, igniting a fire I'd thought extinguished. But I pulled back, breathless. We can't, not with danger looming. She nodded, eyes shining. But we will, when it's over. That night, as Clara and Miguel stood watch, Eliza and I talked deep into the hours. She shared dreams of a quiet life away from secrets. I opened up about Sarah's last days, the guilt I carried for not saving her. The emotional bond strengthened, weaving us together amid the peril. But peril came swift. At midnight, flames licked the barn, arson. We rushed out, fighting the fire with buckets. In the chaos, a shot grazed my arm. Jeb's voice rang out. "Give her up, Whitaker." We extinguished the blaze, but the attack left us shaken. Clara bandaged my wound, her touch motherly. "This ends now," she declared. "We ride for the map at dawn, beat them to it." Miguel agreed, his loyalty unwavering. Eliza looked at me, fear and determination in her eyes. "Are you with me?" I nodded, pulling her close despite the pain. Till the end. As we prepared, the forbidden secret loomed larger, a beacon of hope or doom. My heart was hers now, tangled in love's wild ride. Dawn broke with a vengeance, the sky streaked red like blood. We saddled up, me, Eliza, Miguel, and Clara, riding hard for the mountains. Sheriff Tom had promised to meet us en route with deputies, but trust was thin. Eliza rode beside me, the map tucked in her saddlebag. "Father said the cave's guarded by spirits," she said. "Apache legends warn of it."
Oh my God.
I glanced at her, admiring her resolve. "We'll face it together." The words felt right, easing the inner turmoil. But the push came when we spotted riders trailing us, Harlows, reinforced. We pushed the horses harder, the terrain turning rugged.
Beautiful.
Miguel scouted ahead, his vaquero skills shining. "Ambush spot up yonder," he warned. Clara, shotgun ready, grinned fiercely. "Let 'em come. I've got scores to settle." The clash hit in a narrow pass. Bullets whizzed as we took cover behind boulders. I fired back, dropping one outlaw. Eliza, surprisingly adept, covered my flank. "I learned from father," she shouted over the din. In the melee, Jeb charged Eliza. I tackled him off his horse, fists flying. "She's mine to protect," I growled, landing a punch that split his lip. Jeb sneered. "That secret's poison. It'll kill you both." Miguel and Clara dispatched the others, but Jeb escaped, wounded. We pressed on, reaching the cave by midday. Inside, torchlight revealed crates of gold and a sealed letter. Eliza opened it, tears flowing. Proof. He was a hero. But as we emerged, Jeb waited with reinforcements. "Hand it over!" The standoff was tense, my arm throbbing. Tom arrived then, deputies in tow, turning the tide. Jeb was arrested, his gang scattered. In the aftermath, as we rode home, Eliza leaned into me. "The secret's free now." "And so am I." I kissed her forehead, the pull finally winning. "Stay with me, Eliza, build something real." She smiled. "I will." With Miguel and Clara's blessings, the ranch felt alive again. The forbidden had become forever, a love born from ropes and secrets, strong as the Texas plains.